So hi, and very welcome. So just as we start, I just wanted to mention the props that we're going to use for this class before we start. So it might be handy, you don't have to have blocks, but either something like this or a couple of heavy books, something that you can rest your hands onto. It's just optional. And the second thing we might like is, again, you might not have a block shaped like this, but maybe something shaped like this, and it's going to be something that you can just gently sit on the edge of. So a couple of blankets or a cushion could do instead. So feel free to pause and grab some props if you need to. And then as soon as you're back, you're going to come to lie down on your backs. So I'm just going to carry on talking through so you can hear me better. But you're going to come to lie all the way down onto your back. And you can either have your legs out straight, as in Shavasana, have your arms just resting down by your sides. Or if it's more comfortable, keep a little bend in your knees, maybe rest your hands onto your belly. So you're lying down on your back and let your eyes come to close. And you're just spending a few minutes here at the beginning of the class, and it's to let yourself settle. So whatever busyness might have been going on this morning, this week, whenever it is for you, you're just seeing if you can let that come to pause. So we're not rushing from one thing straight into the next. You're just seeing what this pause feels like. So again, you're lying down on your back, eyes closed. And just come to notice what your breath is doing at the moment. You might notice if you can breathe through the nose, if that's available to you. Does the breath come easily? Is it slightly strained? Can you feel the breath coming through both nostrils? Can you let your breath just start to slow a little, start to deepen a little? You might find you can notice the pause between breaths. There's a pause at the end of your inhale before you exhale. And there's a pause again at the end of each exhale before the inhale comes in. And then I'd just like you to run your mind back over the week so far, or maybe just the day so far. And you're just going to see if you can bring to mind one thing that made you smile. So one thing this week that brought a smile to your lips, to your face. And it doesn't have to be a big thing at all. So often it's the little things that actually bring those kind of little involuntary smiles to our face. It can be something as simple as you got the last bowl of cornflakes for breakfast and the milk was really lovely and cold. Something just so simple, but the things that actually make us happy often are those simple little things. So if you can, bring into mind one thing that made you smile this week. And just let your mind rest there with it for a moment, remembering how you felt. And then let your breath start to deepen once more. We might let the eyes blink open. And you could just draw your knees into your chest and give both of your knees a little hug. Maybe rock a little from side to side. And in your own time, just pushing gently up to seated. So you're joining me once again, seated upright. And we're moving to our first of our yin postures for today, and I'll chat away telling us a little bit more about yin. So you're going to come to sit to begin with. So I'd suggest sitting either onto a block if you have one, or some rolled up blankets. So you just want to sit on the edge of it. It lets your hips lift a little bit. And I'm going to bring the feet out in front. So your legs end up in a nice diamond shape. You can see my heels, they're not too close towards my groin. Maybe rest your hands onto your knees. And we're just going to let the knees ever so gently bounce up and down. So not forcing anything, just letting them gently move. So your hips, just say hello to them, feel that they're okay, everything's okay. And then just let your legs rest. So gravity, taking them wherever it wants to go to. And I'm going to start to fold forwards here. So I'm letting my back round. Your hands might rest on your calves, your feet, wherever is comfortable. And when you get as far as you're going, it might be nice just to let your head hang down too. So you're going to stay there with your head gently hanging down. I'm just setting a timer so that we know how long we're here for. So we're going to be here for 3 minutes in our first pose. And again, you're going to let yourself fold forwards and let your head hang down so your chin comes towards your chest. I'm just going to be looking back up because it's much easier to talk away to you, to the camera like this. So this first yin pose we're in, it's called butterfly. And we're working into possible target areas are your outer hips, possibly your inner thighs, and quite possibly your lower back, or even anywhere along the spine. So they're the areas you're most likely to feel some tension, but because we're all different, it's quite possible you'll feel it somewhere else entirely. And that's not wrong, that's your body, that's where you're feeling it. So just to give us a quick little spiel on what we're doing in each of our yin poses. The first thing we're looking for is to find our point of resistance. So this is where it's not too hard, it's not too easy. So for me, if I was up here, I move my knees up a bit, I'm actually not feeling anything in my hips from that position. So I let my knees fall down, I start to fold forwards, and then I feel something. If I go further and further, it feels that bit too much. It's not where I'd want to stay. So you just want to be there at your edge, and then to relax. Possibly the hardest part. So especially around the outside of your hips. Even give them a little rub if that helps. So you're encouraging the outside of your hips, inside of your thighs, and again your lower back. You're inviting a softness into those areas. And then the third part of each pose is to find a stillness. So we're looking as much as possible to keep the body still in each pose. And you'll notice I haven't been, as I've been demoing and moving around, but I'm hoping that you're in a lovely stillness. And obviously, if something hurts, then please do move. But it's to move mindfully, not just for the sake of it. So that was our 3 minutes. We're going to gently push ourselves back up. Bring your hands to the outsides of your knees to draw your knees together. Feet are going to come a little apart from each other. And we're just going to let the knees nice and gently windshield wiper from side to side. So that's to give a little movement again, a little release. We're going to come straight to our second pose. I'm just going to face sideways for this, so you can stay facing the same way. Again, it's to sit up onto your block or your blanket or your cushion, whatever it is you found. And we'll start by seeing if we can let the legs come out straight. And then try to sit with a nice tall spine. If you find you're already rounding a little, maybe just have a little bend in the knees. That's absolutely fine too. So I'm going to start with the legs. For me, straight. Maybe look towards your toes or your ankles and just slowly start to fold forwards here. I'm not grabbing for my toes. I don't mind where my toes are, where my hands are. I'm just going to let my hands come to rest somewhere on my legs. And again, if it's okay on your neck, let your chin come towards your chest, your head hang forwards. And again, I'm going to ask you to stay in this pose. We'll be here for about 3 minutes. You'll have to excuse me if I just move to set the timer. So we're looking for those same 3 things in this pose. You're looking to find your edge. And it's that Goldilocks position. It's not too hard, not too soft. It's the right amount for you today. You're relaxing into the target area. Maybe just think of a softness there. And then finding your stillness. And I'd like to read this poem to encourage us to stillness. May you grow still enough to hear the small noises earth makes in preparing for the long sleep of winter, so that you yourself may grow calm and grounded deep within. May you grow still enough to hear the trickling of water seeping into the ground, so that your soul may be softened and healed and guided in its flow. May you grow still enough to hear the splintering of starlight in the winter sky and the roar at Earth's fiery core. And may you grow still enough to hear the stir of a single snowflake in the air, so that your inner silence may turn into hushed expectation. There's just about 20 seconds left in this pose. Again, we're going to gently push ourselves back upright. Bring your hands a little bit back behind you. Maybe keep the legs straight to start with. I'm just going to lift my chest, my heart up towards the ceiling. It's a counter pose for that back bend we just had. Either stay here, if it feels okay to you, to your shoulders, take a bend in the knees, press the feet into the ground, and we're going to lift the hips gently towards the ceiling. Just take a breath or two there. And coming back down again. Lovely. I'm just going to turn to face you once more for the next pose. So again, we're going to stay seated on that block or blanket, whatever you happen to be. And start with your legs coming out in front of you. And then you're going to take your right leg and take it just over to the other side of the left. And you see I'm trying to stack my knees up on top of each other here, just as much as possible. So this is a half shoelace pose. One leg on top, the other one straight. And for many of us, we'll be quite happy staying here. Definitely don't have to go any further. If your hips quite like it, we'll go a little further. You're going to roll slightly to your side so that your left leg now can draw itself out towards the right. So again, you see I'm trying to stack my knees on top of each other. And if you find you're kind of falling to one, I'm over exaggerating here, but if you're falling to one side, this knee's way up in the air, and just stay happily in a half shoelace. Again, it's just as good. It's your body, your hips. So for me, my hips strangely like this, so I'm going to be in a full shoelace. So knees stacked as much as possible on top of each other, and just come to settle there. Again, setting the timer, because I don't want to be here for more than 3 minutes. It could be, but we're not going to be. So just maybe let your hands rest lightly on your knees if they can. And just settle there to begin with. It's quite likely there's already some sensation in your hips. That might be plenty. Don't have to go any further. Take a couple of nice full breaths. Maybe a lovely long inhale. And a lovely full exhale. Just a couple more like that. And if you feel like going a little further, you might bring your hands in front of you if they reach in front of you, and just start to walk your hands a little further forwards. So again, my back is rounding here, and if it's comfortable on the neck, you can let your head hang down so your chin comes towards your chest once more. You can also keep your head slightly lifted if you prefer. Try not to, so at the moment I'm tossing my head back so I can look straight at the camera, but try not to do that. So if you can, whenever you need to, let your head hang downwards. And there's one of my favourite poems from Thich Nhat Hanh. And he has this idea of we smile through different parts of our body. Our eyes smile, our noses smile, our ears smile. There's a smile thinking about coming out of everywhere, even your hips right now. Maybe they'd like a little smile. Just encourage that smile from them. So his poem, one of my favourites, is breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in calm, breathing out, smile. Present moment, wonderful moment. May indeed be a wonderful moment as you gently come back up. Pause if you can for a second. Carefully untangle the legs. Again, feet are apart from each other as you let your knees have a little windshield wiper. So thank you, hips. And we're going to come over onto hands and knees now. We're going to do one more thing before we come to the other side. So you can either fold your mat over to get a bit more padding, or have a blanket there for a little bit of padding. So I'm starting on hands and knees, and I'm going to step my right foot forwards, up between my hands. So you can see there's a nice distance between my knee and my heel here. I don't want them too close together because you're not very stable and you're not going to get the same stretch into your legs. So just wriggle this right foot forwards if you can until there's more of a distance there between your heel and your knee. This is where these nice little balancing blocks might be handy. So if the ground feels like a long way away, you're just going to rest onto these balancing blocks. Just pause there for a moment. I'm going to start our timer as we pause. This one's a baby dragon pose. And have a little check-in with yourself. If you can slide that left knee back a little, slide it back, especially if it's on a blanket, it might slide nicely. Or alternatively, you could walk your right foot forwards just a little. And even though we're in our yin, relaxing, this isn't a totally relaxing pose by any means. And if you can, I'd like you to think of drawing your left hip forward, your right hip back. So sorry, this is my my left hip. The camera has it switched around. So your left hip, this one, your back leg, think of drawing that one forwards. Your front leg, think of drawing that one back slightly. So where I'm aiming to feel something in this pose is on the front of your back leg, your thigh, your hip flexor, perhaps. About halfway through, so totally feel free to stay there. It's quite lovely just to stay as baby dragons. If we'd like, we're going to move up to high flying dragons. Maybe bring one hand onto your front knee, front thigh. If your balance is okay, you could bring the other hand. So to help with your balance, even though we are relaxing parts here, you can press your back foot down into the ground. And again, maybe think of your back hip coming forward slightly, front hip drawing back slightly. We're going to press our hands into the knee or the thigh and gently lift your chest up away from that front thigh. might be nice to check right in with your breath again here. See if you can lengthen your inhale. And a lovely slow exhale. Trust 3 more breaths on this side. Last breath. Well done. You're going to bring your hands all the way back down to the ground. You can move the blocks out of the way. A couple of suggestions here. It could be nice to be on your hands and knees and stretch one leg back and then stretch the other leg back, and do that a few times. If you're familiar with down dog, and if you'd like to, I'm going to tuck the toes under, lift your hips, your bum up towards the ceiling, and gently pedal your feet out here. Or maybe let both heels stretch towards the ground. Just say a little hello to your hips. And when you're ready, we'll come to sit back down again. Lovely. So we're going to come to our second side. So again, seated onto that block, or blanket if you didn't have a block, and we'll let both legs come out in front for a moment. Just take a pause. So just being sure to do the second side. So I'm going to take my left leg is going to take up over to the other side of my right leg, and let your knees aim to stack on top of each other once more. And again, this is our half shoelace. Happily stay here, or come into the full shoelace as you let your other leg take a bend in the knee as well. So your 2 knees rest roughly on top of each other, and it doesn't matter if there's a gap between them. If there is, for some people it's nice to rest a block or a blanket in between if they need to. And if this causes any discomfort in your knees, just don't do it. So you're always listening to your own body. Again, we're definitely going to time ourselves in this one. And we have 3 minutes once more. So just to begin with, you might be seated upright, just even have a little wriggle. And let your hips, again, maybe just give them that little massage on the outside. I like to actually tell my hips, like as if they're my friends. They are my friends. Just that everything's okay. So it's like there is nothing to stress or worry about. And that you're just lovely, just as you are. So just let your hips know that. They'd like to hear it. That might encourage them to soften a little. They might not have listened to you, so don't worry. If you'd like to, you're going to bring your hands in front again and maybe start to fold forwards a little. You might not come very far. That's absolutely fine. They're your hips. And again, if it's okay, you're just going to let your head hang down. So your head just hangs down in the direction of your knee, wherever that might be. And I'm going to ask you to stay there, so you're looking for that stillness, finding that inner stillness. and outer stillness. And I'd like you to forget about enlightenment. Sit down wherever you are and listen to the wind singing in your veins. Feel the love, the longing, the fear in your bones. Open your heart to who you are right now. Not who you would like to be, not the saint you are striving to become, but the being right here before you, inside you, around you. All of you is holy. You are already more and less than whatever you can know. Breathe out. Touch in. Let go. And just gently come back up. Again, if you can, we're going to pause for that second, so we're not jumping to move. Bring your hands down. And use them actually to just gently untangle your legs. Thank you. Hips again. And let your knees rock from side to side. We've got one more set of dragons to do. So we're going to come straight to it, over onto hands and knees. And again, it might be nice to have some padding on your knees. I know mine always like it. Okay, the time we're ready. So from hands and knees, I'm going to step my left foot forwards this time. So as long as it's the opposite foot to the one you had forwards last time. And again, maybe you've got your books or balancing blocks of some kind to rest your hands onto the side of the timer. And just pause there in that first version of a baby dragon to start with. And the blocks can be up higher, by the way. You can be on a whole pile of books if you'd like to be. Or you might find no blocks at all, your hands happily rest down onto the ground. So our baby dragon. Again, after a moment or two, you might find you can slide your back knee back a little bit more. And at the same time, so as it comes back, I'm thinking of drawing my back hip forwards, my front hip back. I'm hoping to feel this, if possible, into the front of my back leg. So my thigh, my hip flexor. And just come to pause. Again, dragons can be a little intense. I think that's why they're called dragons. It's not, yeah, they're intense. Intense fire-breathing dragons sometimes. So happily staying in this baby dragon. Nothing at all wrong with baby dragon. If you'd like to come a little further, we'll bring one hand onto this front thigh. And then if your balance is okay, the other hand. If your balance isn't okay, just keep one hand down on the ground. It's a nice option. So both hands, if possible, onto your front thigh. Your back foot can press into the ground. You're thinking of drawing your back hip slightly forwards, your front hip slightly back. And as I press my hands into my thigh, it's to help me lift my chest away from the thigh. And so wherever that might come, it's one of our most yang style of the yin poses. It's a bit more active, a bit less receptive. But there's only 30 seconds left, nearly there. Again, maybe stay for the last 3 breaths here. So if you can let each breath lengthen that little more, especially on the exhale. Really lovely. You're going to bring your hands back down to the ground. So either come back to hands and knees, stretch the legs back as I demoed last time, or again, if you like, come up into a down dog, or you can make your way straight into child's pose, which is where we're all going to be in a moment. So you could be on hands and knees, stretching one leg at a time. You could be in down dog, stretching both legs together, or you can be in child's pose. So when you're ready, wherever you are, we're going to come down into a child's pose. You see, it might still be nice to keep the blanket there under your knees. I'm going to let my knees come out wide and then start to fold forwards. If your head happily reaches to the ground, it can come all the way down, or it can rest on your hands, or it might rest onto a block or a book. And you could let your arms either come to rest down by your sides, or they can stay in front of you for a little bit more support. It'll just be a minute or two in child's pose, making it your child's pose, whatever is most comfortable for you right now. The peace of wild things. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. And for a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. Just in your own time, I'm going to invite you to make your way back up. We're going to come all the way down to our backs, finishing Shavasana. So, come to lie down on your backs once more. If you have a blanket, it's going to be nice to cover yourself with the blanket this time. I'm just going to lie down for a moment, A, because it's lovely, and B, just to encourage you to do the same. So coming to lie down. If your head needs a small little prop, you could have another blanket or a cushion underneath it. Making sure you're warm. It might be nice to let your arms come out to the sides, palms facing up, and your feet just gently flop out to the side. Let the whole weight of your body sink down to the ground. And as you rest there in that Shavasana, so there's one last poem today I'm going to read to you. So again, you stay there, lying down, close your eyes. And this one is autobiography in 5 short chapters. 1. I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I am lost. I am helpless. It isn't my fault. It takes me forever to find a way out. 2. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place, but it isn't my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. 3. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it is there. I still fall in. It's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It is my fault. I get out immediately. 4. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. 5. I walk down another street. I'd just like you to settle just for a few moments more. So we'll take another 4 or 5 breaths here. And see if you can bring to mind whatever it was you thought of at the beginning of the class that made you smile. So it was something from today or this week that had brought a smile to your lips. Just let your mind rest there again on that one thing, whatever it might be, that made you smile, made you happy. Maybe keeping that thought in your head, bring a little movement back to your fingers and your toes, give them a little wriggle. And when you're ready, you might hug your knees into your chest. Maybe have a little rock from side to side. Take a moment to thank your hips there as well, because we were a lot about the hips today. So thank you, hips. You're just gorgeous, you're just perfect. You're just exactly as you should be today. And when you're ready, you're going to roll over to one side and just come and meet me again seated. Maybe keep your eyes closed as you bring your hands together at your heart center, bowing your head towards your hands. And if you like, just ending with thanking yourself, thanking your hips, and thanking each other. Namaste.